Hey everybody, it's Ryan. Welcome back to How Farms Work. We are cutting hay today, and this alfalfa stand is quite ripe. So, as you can see, the plants are pretty well at full flower, and that means that it's getting overripe. So when it gets overripe, the hay itself gets tough. You lose quality. As it gets more ripe, you'll typically get higher yield. However, if it's not treated for things like bugs, you can lose quantity and quality even further. So right now, I haven't noticed that the bugs are eating away at the hay too much yet, but they are calling for over a week and a half of rain straight. So anything that doesn't get cut today and made tomorrow is going to have to stand possibly until when we would normally want to be cutting second cut. So I'm cutting about 2/3 of what I have left standing, and I'm hoping that by cutting this and getting it made, it can encourage the hay to start growing back. I wish I could get everything cut, but we're probably going to have to be making this stuff wet, which isn't exactly what I want, but we only have until tomorrow. So I've got the shrouds in the mower. So what we're doing is we're windrowing the hay to an extent. They're still all the way out, but what I'm aiming for is I'm trying to get the ground dry. So if we got to come back out and turn it over tomorrow, even if I come back later today and ted it, which is why I'm out here earlier in the day today, trying to get all of it cut, I'm hoping that I can come back out and ted it before we go through and rake it and bale it. And we're aiming for anywhere between 40 and 60% moisture to make it wet. And by cutting it today with the shrouds where they're at, theoretically it should get me in that range. However, today is not exactly an optimal drying day. There is rain out there. From the forecast, it looks like it's going to miss us, but it's very hazy. The sun's, when it is out, it isn't peeking through very well. So these aren't optimal hay drying conditions. But now that we have the wrapper, it gives us the option to make the hay in a shorter time frame, and we'll have to haul this stuff home and get it thrown in the wrapper by tomorrow night. So that's a lot for us to do in that short of a time frame, and more than anything, we're facing a labor difficulty getting all this stuff put in, just because when people can help amongst doing other things. So we're gonna try to get this made by tomorrow, but I'll follow up with you guys then, and we'll see where we stand, if this stuff will go or not. So the ground is not very dry at all. It rained about 3/4 of an inch 2 days ago, so we are creating a little bit of rut there, but it's dry enough to cut. By windrowing it, that's keeping the hay from covering that up to hopefully get the ground to dry out better, faster. All done. Oh, if we're making this stuff wet, that'll go today, like right now. Honestly, the difficult part, and the reason I don't like making first cut wet, is because in first cut there's a lot more weeds and grasses that are out there versus second and third cutting. The field is a lot more consistent in material. Like back there, all that grass, bone dry. But the alfalfa, where there's pure alfalfa and hardly any weeds, it looks a little bit wetter. I think this is going to be a lot more consistent material. I think this could have honestly been going like an hour ago. But we'll bring the moisture tester out with the baler and see what it runs. We're aiming for 40%, but I'm guessing we might be in that 30% range right at this moment. So we'll see. Well, it looks green, that's for sure. 37.8. That's about 3 percentage points lower than we like, but it's really close to what I was aiming for. Weight-wise on these bales, I'm guessing they're about 1,800 pounds. I was carrying 2 at a time down below, and for one set, I actually tipped forward with the JCB. So the max lift capacity on the JCB is over 3,600 pounds. The tipping weight is higher than that, but coming to a stop down there pointed downhill can increase your odds of tipping forward. But we aren't going to start wrapping yet. Dad's going to run back and get the 46 and the other flatbed, and we're going to start hauling 12 plus 8, 20 bales at a time. So hopefully this is going to go by pretty quick, but I want to get some more bales around before we fire the wrapper up and get things moving. of pressed for time because they're calling for rain after midnight. Storms are supposed to be pretty bad, so we want to get all this stuff wrapped as soon as we can. I just adjusted the brake to increase the pressure that's getting pushed on the bales. We just checked the moisture in these bales that are going in, and the moisture is 45%, which is perfect. And right now, we just got everything set up, and the wrapper's starting off, running great. So we're gonna fire up both skid loaders and run this as fast as we can. This wind's gonna kick up a storm. It's now 8 o'clock. We made really good time. Yesterday I went out way earlier than I have in the past and got this hay cut, and we started baling like at 9 this morning. So the moisture still could have been even more wet, so I think I could have gotten away with going out around even 11 yesterday and cut, and still had good moisture this morning. It's just you can't cut all of it at the exact same time, so as you get later on in the day, the moisture will vary. But I'm happy with where we got the moisture with this. I've got 11 more acres to cut, and then we'll be done with our first cutting, not including the valley. But we got 74 today, so that brings me up to, oh man, am I close to 200 now? I might be close. Yeah, it might be close to like 150 actually. I needed to check my current bale inventory. I'm updating it as I go, and counting it as I use hay to keep better track of exactly how much I'm using, so I know exactly how much hay I need these days. But the material looked good. We'll see what it looks like when it comes out of the tube. We ran out of wrap right at the end here, but we got luckily enough that the one roll that was still rolling finished the row off. I had to curve it at the end a little bit to get to fit, so we didn't have to start a new row, because I think those end caps are like 20 bucks a piece, so I'd much rather curve it upward this way. But I've also considered taking the rows across the hillside. The reason you don't want to do that is because the water flows downhill, and you don't want to run your rows perpendicular to the water because they might start retaining some of that water. And on wetter days in the falls or spring, you might actually end up with wetter ground because of that. When you run them north to south, the sun has a chance to infiltrate between the rows and dry that ground out. That's pretty much it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching. Be sure to check out all of our other videos. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Snapchat, all how farms work. And with that, I'll see you next time.